Hello, welcome to another episode of Real Estate Talks with Rose. Thank you for staying tuned. I'll continue to bring more interesting topics surrounding the real estate market. Don't forget to subscribe or still share this video to people who you think would benefit from watching my videos. So for today's topic, I will be sharing more information or more light on the off-plan market. So if you are looking to come into the real estate market as a first-time investor or already existing investor, you're thinking or considering if you should invest in the off-plan market, stay tuned to the end of this video because I'll be sharing an overview of the pros and the cons, the risk and the benefits the off-plan market has to offer. Or what are off-plan properties? So off-plan properties are properties that you buy from scratch that has not yet been built, or sometimes they could be undergoing construction. So these properties usually take between 1 year to 5 years of completion, depending on the type of project, right? So off-plan properties are properties that have not yet been built. They are not standing yet. So you're basically employing the services of a developer or a contractor to build this property for you. Off-plan properties are bought on the agreement that they will be completed in the future, like I mentioned earlier, between 1 year to 5 years, depending on the size of the project involved. So the off-plan market has a lot of benefits it offers. For people who are looking at coming into the market, you would be presented with a lot of opportunities to earn in higher capital appreciation in the off-plan market. So some of the benefits the off-plan market offers is it offers lower or easy entry point. So if you're an investor who is looking at buying a property, but you do not have the total capital to buy or purchase a property, you can key into the off-plan market because it offers you that opportunity to come in at a lower price, or a lower entry price, and offers you the opportunity to also spread your payment for a period of sometimes 6, 12, 18, or sometimes even 2 years. So if you are looking at buying a 3-bedroom apartment in Victoria Island that is probably completed already standing, and the cost of that is probably going for about 200 million naira. Now, if you do not have the whole 200 million naira, so the off-plan now would offer you the opportunity to make payments, initial deposit of smaller payments in bits for this same 3-bedroom apartment, which you will still own in Victoria Island. So, but it's just going to take a matter of time for it to be built. But it's still going to be a 3-bedroom apartment that you own in Victoria Island. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. So that's the opportunity the off-plan. It offers you low entry. So another benefit is it's a great way to get into the market at an affordable rate below market value. So basically, an off-plan project to offer you a lesser amount to come into the market. So for instance, if you buy into an off-plan property, there's usually, in my previous episode, I talked about off-plan prices or launch prices, right? So you have the opportunity to buy at a lesser value compared to the market value of such kind of properties. So the prices for off-plan properties are usually lesser and cheaper than the current market value of that same property. So that's one of the benefits the off-plan property offers you. It also offers you higher initial rates of returns. So this simply means that if you buy into the off-plan market, the capital appreciation you get to experience or enjoy is way higher than when you buy a completed building or a completed project, because you're basically growing with the market. Like I mentioned earlier, a 3-bedroom apartment in VI varies between 250 million to like 350 million naira, depending on the property type. Now, for off-plan projects for that same unit type, you probably be keyed into the market at say 170 million or 180 million naira, right? So you would have the opportunity to make over 100% of your investment if you buy into the off-plan project as compared to when you buy into already standing or already completed project. Another benefit the off-plan market offers you is early exit. So for some people who want to enjoy the capital appreciation the off-plan market offers, you buy in early, you hold the property for a few months, and you resell when it has gained some traction in the market. So there are different stages and there are different times at which you see the off-plan property grow in terms of appreciation. So an example is when you come in at a stage where the developer is here to break grounds, the prices you get at that point is way lesser than the prices you get when the developer is probably on the second floor. So I can buy in at 100 million before the developer breaks ground. At 6 months time, the current market value or the current going rate of that same property can be selling for 150 million. Why? Because there's been some traction in terms of construction, works are ongoing, value has been added to that development, right? So at that point, if you're an investor and you decide to say, okay, I think I have made traction enough, or I've made enough, earned enough capital appreciation, and I want to sell at this point, you are able to sell your property, get your money, and move out of the market. So that's one of the benefits the off-plan market offers you. Another benefit it offers you is it allows for customization. So for customization, if your apartment or unit type is being offered at a certain finishing stage, you are able to finish this apartment to your taste and to your spec, right? So there are also areas where you can add a bit of modification to basically give you the apartment of your dreams, right? So that's one of the things the off-plan market also offers you, right? So it offers you the opportunity to finish the apartment to your taste or do modifications to your taste. But as compared to an already completed project, so there's little to no modification you can do. It's either you like it or you don't like it. It's either you buy it or you do not buy it. So off-plan market offers you that flexibility and that option. Why the off-plan market offers all those opportunities is always best that you do your checks and balances before you invest into an off-plan market or off-plan property. So I will be sharing with you some of the things you need to check and be wary of before you buy into any off-plan project. So first things first, you want to check the location of this project. It's very important to check the location of where your off-plan property is going to be situated. It's important because you want to know the infrastructure facilities available in that location, which would in turn probably affect the appreciation your project will enjoy or your investment will enjoy. It's very important. Location is key in buying real estate. I say this all the time. It can never be overemphasized. So you want to be sure that location has accessibility, at least good road networks, at least to be able to offer your property the value that it deserves if you want to enjoy your investment. Another thing you want to look out for is to be sure that the title documentations of that property is meets all its requirements, right? So it's always important you do your findings regarding the title documentations of the land. What are the title documentations? Are they having any litigations on the land? Is there any family feud on the land? Who owns the land? Check the history of the land. You can always do these things at the land registry or possibly hire a professional lawyer, a real estate lawyer or something who can help you do these findings and be sure that the land has no issues whatsoever before you invest into that off-plan property. Another important thing you need to check is the developer. Who is the developer of this project? You want to check their track record. What projects have they delivered in the past, right? You also need to check if what the promised is what they deliver, the time frame they use to deliver this project as well. It's very important to check all these things. Who are they? Who is on their board of directors? Their integrity, their credibility. You need to check all these things. Another thing you also want to look at is who the contractors or the partners are on this project. So who is the construction company building this project, right? It's very important. So if you're going for a bigger project or a high-rise project, you make sure that you are the contractor on this project are contractors that have successfully delivered high-rise projects in the past, right? Because you don't want to employ roadside laborers, or you don't want your project use the services of roadside laborers that will possibly have structural issues in the future. You want to ensure that that project is using the right hands, is using the right expertise for building your project or building your house or building your apartment. So high-rise projects have some very good construction companies that are key expertise in that area. So you want to check some of these things. Maybe in my next episode, I will be sharing some of these construction companies and their grades, who they are, what they've done in the past, and stuff like that, to help you better do your conclusions and your findings. So the contractors, who they are, is very important. Who is building this project, right? You also want to check the partners they have on board for this project. Partners could vary from project managers to electrical and mechanical to surveyors, could vary basically, even JVs sometimes, who are their JV partners. Another episode, I will be talking about joint ventures and how to also explore that market space. So you want to check their partners, who they are, what they have done in the past, the projects they've been involved in the past, their track record, their history, and stuff like that. Ensure that you check all these things before you buy into any off-plan project, because at the end of the day, you don't want to buy into an off-plan project that would have poor finishing, bad architectural or infrastructural designs. You don't want to buy into a project that will not give you value for your money at the end of the day. All these things matters. All those things I have listed above would be part of the things that will add to the value of your project in the future. And last but not the least, you also want to check the architectural design or the structural design of that project. You want to check what are the services it offers, where are the services going to be placed, what are the elevators, how many elevators that project has, what are the elevators it offers, what are the services basically it offers, the sizes of the rooms and stuff like that. You also want to check all these things. It's very, very important. Architectural or structural designs are very key to invest in, so that at the end of the day, we're looking at the value your project offers you at the point of completion, right? That's why you're buying into the off-plan property, right? To enjoy value. So that property has to be able to compete with existing properties in the market, right? And also offer you an edge or more value for your money at the end of the day. So do not miss the steps. They are very important. Please check these things before you invest in any off-plan project. So having discussed the things you check before you buy any off-plan property, now let's go into the risk. So what are the risks you can encounter when you buy any off-plan projects, right? So there's no investment that doesn't come with risk. I'll be very very factual here. There is no investment that doesn't come with risk, or you want to try as much as possible to minimize your risk in any investments, right? So that's why if you do your checks and balances very well, you'll be able to avoid or minimize your risk when investing in project or real estate generally in Lagos or in Nigeria. So some of the risks you might encounter in any off-plan project or development is, number one, delay, right? Sometimes delays are unforeseen circumstances that sometimes they're even beyond the control of developers, right? For instance, when COVID happened, nobody saw it coming. Nobody envisioned that COVID or a disease like that would take control over both economical, situations of the world. What COVID did was affect, movement. It affected the number of people that can be in a particular place at a particular time. So this in turn affected, construction, the number of workers that can be allowed into the site at a particular time. So they had to reduce the numbers of this workers. And of course, when you reduce the numbers of workers, it can sometimes also affect the delivery date, the proposed delivery date, and delay of delivery for some of this construction, right? So they are unforeseen circumstances, no doubt, but they are also, right, man-made delays. I say man-made delays because there are times when a developer or the contractor is not in sync. Some things can go wrong in any construction, right? So there are also times when there are architectural defects that along the line was not noticed at the earlier stage, could also be noticed in the future. That can also delay the delivery of that proposed project. So for anybody buying off-plan properties, I would always tell you, if the developer gives you um, a 24-month delivering time frame, put a buffer of 6 months, right? So that at least you give yourself peace of mind and you give yourself rest. The reason why I'm saying give it 6 month buffer is because there are unforeseen circumstances that will come up, right? It could be from the architectural designs, it could be from so many things, anything. It could be anything. It could be from the soil, it could be from the foundation, it could be anything, right? It could even be from sometimes the contractors, right, who have breached their agreement to deliver framework for the construction period. So it could be anything. So put a buffer of 6 months at least. So also, put yourself at peace, put your mind at peace. And I mean, even after any construction, right, there is always a period of snagging that the developer has to check that everything is functioning, from the pipes to the light to the wiring to everything is working perfectly fine. So they also have to do the snagging. So give a buffer of 6 months if you're buying any off-plan property, so that you can put your mind at rest and you will not be disappointed. But then there are also developers that meet at the exact promised time. That's for those that don't have or encounter any issues whatsoever. There are developers that tell you, if I'm going to build this project 1 year, I will deliver at 1 year, and they meet that delivery period, right? And that's because sometimes they don't encounter any issues, but there are some that encounters issues that are unavoidable, right? So another risk you might encounter in off-plan purchase is the fact that there might be Lagos state land issues in terms of getting approvals for some things might be very difficult, and this can affect the proposed delivery date of such project. So, for instance, if there's an high rise that wants to go up in Lekki, and maybe the developer has started selling and collecting money from people to start constructing that project, and then he encounters issues with getting approval for going the number of floors that he or she wants to go for that development, right? That can cause delay, and sometimes that's beyond their control as well. Maybe somebody at the town planning office is trying to make the developer wet his palms before he gives them the approval. So there are a lot of issues basically. So that sometimes is unavoidable or can be avoided if the developer actually gets these approvals before they start collecting money from people and start selling the projects, right? That's one of the risks you can encounter in off-plan development. Another thing you can also encounter is a situation where the developer has promised to deliver a certain structure with certain specifications and architectural design, but fails to meet that promise. So it's I don't know, it's just something that could happen, right? So how do you avoid this? It's best that when you're reviewing your contract to that developer, ensure that the specifics are stated in that contract, right? So that this can also put in a tight corner to try as much as possible to deliver what was promised and not go, and not breach the contract, because a breach of contract could also result in litigations and court cases. And I don't think he or she might want to go through all that. So it's best to review your contract when you're buying an off-plan property, right? And let them include all the specifications there. It's very important they do that. Some of the commonly asked questions about off-plan properties are mortgages, right? Some people would ask, oh, can I get mortgage for an off-plan purchase? Oh, can I get mortgage to purchase an off-plan property? It's a yes and a no answer, and I'll give you the reasons why I say that. So when you're buying into an off-plan project, you're buying into a vision. You're buying into an idea, right? The property is not standing. It's just a vision. You buy into the developer's vision, and you go ahead and make a purchase for that property. Now for mortgage, they also have to check their risk and balances. Mortgage companies would not necessarily invest or loan money or give you money to pay or to put into an off-plan project, right? Because mortgage only invest in projects that they see standing, that have physical what's it called, they see standing basically, right? Because what if something goes wrong? How would they withdraw their money? How would they get back their money? What is there to sell for them to pull out and get back their money in case you default as the loaner? So most mortgage companies would not invest in off-plan projects. But then there are also mortgage companies that partners with some specific real estate companies. Why? It's because they have seen the track record of these real estate companies. They have seen them deliver projects in the past, and they trust them enough that they will deliver their current or future projects. So they go into such kind of partnerships with such kind of companies, right? Because they have integrity and they have credibility. So sometimes you'll find some real estate companies offer mortgage services because they have partnered with such kind of mortgage companies, right? That's that about mortgage facilities and off-plan projects. So off-plan, like I mentioned, has a lot of opportunities. Most especially the capital appreciation is huge. I tell you that for a fact. I have a lot of off-plan properties options that I will be sharing with you in my next episode. And trust me, if they're coming from me, be rest assured it's coming from a credible developer that has amazing track record, that has built amazing projects in the past, and you do not want to miss out on this opportunity. So that will be the end of today's engagement. Thank you for watching as always. Thank you for sticking with me. Do well to share this video with whomever you know is planning to go into an off-plan property purchase. Do well to also reach out for inquiries, for questions. I would see you in my next episode.